The rain was coming down in sheets that afternoon, the kind of day that forces you indoors and into forgotten corners of the house. I was in the attic, on a mission to finally declutter, when I found it. Tucked away in a dusty old chest, beneath a stack of my husband David's college sweatshirts, was a small, leather-bound diary. His name was embossed in faded gold on the cover. I'd never seen it before in our 15 years of marriage. Curiosity, a powerful and sometimes treacherous thing, got the better of me. I sat down on the floorboards, the smell of old paper and cedar filling the air, and opened it. The first few pages were what I expected. Notes from classes, doodles, complaints about cafeteria food. It was the David I knew, but younger, his handwriting a bit slow. I smiled, feeling a sweet pang of nostalgia for a time I wasn't even a part of. But then, about a third of the way through, the tone shifted. The entries became less about daily life and more about a person. A name I didn't recognize started appearing on every page. Ilara. Saw Ilara in the library today. One entry read, "She was wearing that green sweater again. She didn't see me, but I couldn't look away. It's like the whole room just disappears when she's in it." My smile faltered. Who was Ilara? David had told me about his college friends, even a few casual dates, but this name was entirely new. And the way he wrote about her, it wasn't casual, it was reverent. It was the way he used to write about me. I kept reading, my heart starting to beat a little faster. He described their conversations, late night talks about everything and nothing. They shared dreams, fears, a favorite park bench under a sprawling oak tree. He wrote about the way she laughed, the way she'd tuck a stray piece of hair behind her ear. He was completely, utterly in love with her. A cold knot formed in my stomach. This wasn't a fleeting crush. This was a deep, profound connection. This was the kind of love people write novels about. Then I found them. Tucked between the pages, like pressed flowers, were letters. Not just letters from him to her, but hers to him. Her handwriting was elegant, a graceful cursive that danced across the aged paper. "My dearest David," one began, "I count the minutes until we can sit on our bench again. The world makes more sense when you're next to me." My breath hitched. I unfolded another. It was a letter from him, a draft, full of crossed-out words. "Ilara, I need to tell you, you're my everything, my future. I can't imagine a single day without you in it." I felt like an intruder, a ghost watching a life that wasn't mine. This wasn't just a college romance. This was a plan for a future. They were going to move to the coast after graduation, open a small bookshop. They had names picked out for their future children. It was a whole life, mapped out in ink and dreams. A life that didn't include me. I sat there, surrounded by the relics of our shared life, feeling like I was suddenly a character in the wrong story. Why had he never mentioned her? Not once, in 15 years, was our life, our love, just a backup plan. Was I the second choice? The questions swirled in my head, each one more painful than the last. I started to see our whole relationship in a new, harsh light. The way he sometimes got quiet and distant, staring out the window on rainy days. The trips he'd refused to take to the coast. The sadness that would sometimes flicker in his eyes. A sadness I'd always attributed to work, stress, or just a bad mood. Was it her? Was he thinking of her all this time? The final entry in the diary was dated just a few weeks before our first date. It was Sharshi, a single, tear-smudged paragraph. "She's gone. Her family is moving. An opportunity for her father. No goodbyes. Just a note. The world is gray. The colors are all gone." And tucked behind that page was a small, creased photograph. A beautiful girl with kind eyes and a radiant smile, standing under a large oak tree. My heart broke, not just for me, but for the young man who wrote those words, the man my husband used to be. I closed the diary, my hands trembling. Everything felt different. The house felt different. The comfortable, solid foundation of my marriage suddenly felt like it was built on a secret. A ghost of a love I never knew existed. The David I thought I knew, the man who was my everything, had a whole other life buried in his past. A life where his heart belonged to someone else. Downstairs, I could hear David's car pulling into the driveway. His keys jingled in the door. "Honey, I'm home," he called Ochi, his voice familiar and comforting, yet now it sounded like it was coming from a stranger. I stood up, holding the diary against my chest. The rain had stopped, and a sliver of sunlight was breaking through the clouds, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the attic air. I knew, in that moment, that nothing would ever be the same again. I had to know the truth. I walked slowly down the stairs, the weight of the past in my hands, ready to face a future that was suddenly uncertain. Thank you so much for watching and for sharing in this journey with me. This was a really personal and difficult story to tell. If you've ever uncovered a secret that changed everything, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel Stories We Don't Tell for more stories. Your support means the world to me.